appreciate you being here. Definitely missed you guys over the bye weekend. Glad to see everybody back and ready to go for this week. And it was a good bye week. I thought, we talked last Wednesday. I thought our guys really did a nice job in how they approached the work. I thought they had two really good practices. We were physical, tough. We got a lot of good speed against ones on ones, twos on twos, trying to get a lot of situational work. Some of the things we look back in the bye week of just areas that we have to improve. I know we talked about the conversion downs in the last two games have really hurt us. It's hurt our overall snap counts. I think right now we're the lowest per game snaps offensively. There's twofold of that. I think we've had on average about 11 explosive plays a game, so we've been explosive. We've had a little bit over 35 plus yard plays per game offensively. So we've seen the explosiveness. We're seeing some of the positives. But ultimately we got to do a better job of third down conversions. Continuing to extend drives. And then defensively, obviously we got to do a better job of getting off the field in those situations. I thought we did a good job there in the second half of last week's game, but we've allowed more extensive drives that have kept us on the field more than what we need to be. So we got some of that work there last week, continuing to emphasize our red zone. I think it's been one of the overall strengths of our team. You're doing a good job when we get down there, really on both sides of the ball. And then just continuing to work fundamentals, technique, and pushing to get better. And guys came back last night. It was they got we gave them a few days off. You got good rest. You got good treatment. We're gonna have a chance to get a couple guys back here this week. I know Keem Dent did more last night. I feel very confident in where that could go as the week progresses. Obviously, we got to see how that plays out. Rob Scott, I think, is getting close. We'll see ultimately what that's going to be this week. I feel more confident than what I had the last few weeks of what that is looking like coming back. Deuce Spann missed the last game. We had a last few weeks of game weeks. We dealt with some sickness that was going around. Really as much around the community. So we had a couple guys that have missed games just due to that. But I think everybody's in a good spot. As we head into this game week. So excited to see our guys continue to work. I thought last night was good, like I said, and there's a sense of urgency for us to get back on the field and to go play our best game. We want to put together a complete game. This Virginia Tech team that's coming off a great performance. They were dominant against Pitt. Really did an outstanding job of running the football. You saw toughness, you saw physicality. You really liked the quarterback, what he was able to do. I mean, he's a big kid. I think he's close to 200, almost 40 pounds. There. I mean, and he's got the right mindset and how to play. They did some direct quarterback runs with him. That's going to be a big part of what they do. But the running back, the offensive line did a nice job there at the line of scrimmage. You saw toughness. It was put on display, and then they showed some of the explosiveness to be able to throw the ball down the field. And it presents a challenge for us, but defensively it's a very well coached team. Obviously we know Chris Marv, defensive coordinator, Coach Pry. Obviously that's his background and all that he's done and all success in his career. I mean, very sound, aggressive attack style defense in what they do, and so a lot of movement with their guys up front. They were disruptive last week. And then obviously in special teams, I mean, this is a program that's known for great special teams play, and that's going to be a big battle for us. But as we go into this week, we're continuing to focus on us and just going to be the best Florida State team that we can be, and continuing to grow as we move through the season.
First question will be Ira to your right.
It seems like at least in a couple of these games early this year, teams have tried to control the clock and keep your offense from getting on the field. Are there things you guys could do defensively besides just executing better to kind of force the issue and kind of expedite that process to get the offense back on the field?
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously creating takeaways. Getting third down stops. I mean, those are the biggest things that we've had a big point emphasis in. And you look at the first two games, and that was something we did really well. And at the end of the day, when you have teams that, we have an explosive offense. We got, good players, and, it's something that, I've seen throughout my coaching career. Whenever you're going against, different opponents, some will try to control the clock. And, obviously that's something that has shown up, but we play a role in that as well. I mean, like I said, we got to get off the field, we get opportunities, and we got to sustain drives. The offensive part of it, as we went back, I think we'd still be better on third downs, but we've also, we've been as good as we've been, on fourth downs. I think we're 7 to 9, I believe, and we really had a couple situations where we had conversions, but due to, a self-inflicted issue, a penalty, we had a bad alignment there last week. That hurt us, but I mean, I think we're executing at a high level in those situations, so we have been able to do that, but just we can still be better. And it's come down to creating takeaways, and then obviously being able to get off the field in those conversion downs, as high a percentage as we can.
Next will be Brendan over here to your left.
With the third down conversions on offense, are you guys finding that you're in a lot of third and longs, or is it, I guess, it's
No, I mean, it's
common theme of what's
yeah,
happening?
and really for me, my mindset over the last few years, I think I might have mentioned this last week, is, what are you doing on conversion downs? Ultimately, if you have a 3rd and 8 and you get 6 yards to a 4th and 2, and then you convert on a 4th and 2, that is a positive set. You did what you needed to do to put yourself in that situation. Yes, everybody wants to get if it's 3rd and 8, you want to get the 8 yards, but ultimately there's times that you can have that type of thought process, and we're gonna continue to push, and we want to convert over 30% or 50% of the time that you get in those cash down situations. So if you're 3rd and 4th down, if the 3rd down helps you to get a 4th down conversion, then ultimately that's still a positive play in our thought process. So we've been good. We can be better, and that's ultimately just the mindset, the approach of what we're trying to take is, man, is go execute to the best of our ability. Let's eliminate the mistakes. Let's make sure, and you got to give credit. We played a couple good defenses in those situations that have forced us, and then we've had some mistakes in those situations. And so those are things that we just got to be able to have better execution, but then also you make sure that as coaching staff, we're continuing to develop plans that help put our guys in the best situation possible.
We go second row on the left for Essen.
2-part question. You guys obviously want to establish a run this week. I think Virginia Tech allowed 38 yards last week to Pittsburgh. What do you guys need to do to get the run game going? And what did you see that they did last week to kind of limit Pittsburgh?
I mean, they did a good job of attacking, on their defensive front. The linebackers. You look at their team. I mean, they're big. They get great length, speed. They really fly around. On the defensive front, they're going to move, and there's twist games, stunt splits, all different things, and they were very impactful. And at the end of the day, it's going to be a challenge for us. We're coming off one of the lowest rushing performances that we've had since we've been here, and you got to give credit to a good job by our last opponent, but also there were a lot of opportunities that we went back and were able to see where it's just a tiny detail, a fundamental, making sure that we're taking the proper steps to put ourselves in the right position, to go and be what we're capable of. But every week we want to establish a run, and but we're also going to take what the defense gives us, and that's something that we've got to be able to have a balance. But it's going to come down to what I want to see is I want to see us go out there and with our technique, fundamentals, and communication, go out there and execute the way that we can. And from where we go from that, as long as it's the best we can be in that situation, then I've got confidence that we'll get back on track. But at the end of the day, I mean, this is a team that they're going to force a lot of 8-man front. They're going to try to get those hats down. They're going to always try to have +1 in the run game. So you got to do a good job of making sure that you execute, that you do a good job. Play with your eyes, and then obviously quarterback just taking what they're giving you in those situations.
We'll come back to Brendan on the front row.
With the run game, are you guys seeing teams consistently try to take away Jordan as far as like read option stuff? Are they committing to that
I mean, they're, teams that count for Jordan, I mean, if you don't, it's gonna result in, pretty good plays. And I thought there was a couple times, had run pass, option there, a few times in the last game where, really in Jordan's hand to what he sees. And, there was probably a couple plays where he could have got, some yards there on the run, took an opportunity with the pass and, didn't work out for us as well. But, we're gonna continue to make sure that we present options, and, I think, if teams are accounting for Jordan, that's going to create more space for us in the in the run game, and obviously we got to do a great job up front. Everybody's got to handle their man, their responsibility. But if Jordan is always a threat. There's some times that we're going to be smart on just how much we are trying to run him. He's coming up. I don't think it wasn't a secret that he was dealing with kind of playing a little bit banged up there. I thought he showed great toughness, and there were some runs that we did have with him. But there's I'm also gonna be smart with him too. And so he's definitely feeling good. The bye week hit for a good time for him, and so excited to see him back out there. And we'll see what this game plan and obviously how the how this matchup kind of plays out on how much they're accounting for him.
We'll go to Jordan, third row on the left.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned the Virginia Tech quarterback. I think he had over 20 carries in the Pitt game. What does another dual threat quarterback present challenge-wise for the defense going into this game?
Well, I mean, we faced one a few weeks ago that that hurt us, and ultimately it was he did a good job. They had some design quarterback runs, that got out on us, and so I'm sure they're going to look at a lot of those things. And he's got a strong arm. I mean, he can throw it all over the field. I think he had a big 60-yard touchdown pass that was placed perfectly to one of his big receivers. I mean, this is a team that can present challenges for what they're doing. I thought that they're coming off their best game. You'll hear this last week. They kind of got into a rhythm. They were able to attack the Pittsburgh front, and we're creating some movement. And the quarterback, I mean, he is a tough runner. I mean, he's not one of those guys that's just looking to get a few yards. I mean, if he gets an opportunity, he's gonna try to run over you, and you see that toughness. You saw that put on display, and it's definitely you gotta come with all you have, and then when you get there, man, we got a lot of Garnet jerseys that are tracking with you to make sure we get these guys down because they do run tough.
All right, we'll go to Corey, second row on your right.
You talked last week about how the defense in the second half seemed more aggressive, made Clemson react to you instead of the other way around. Is that, I think I know the answer to that, is that something moving forward you want this defense to be? Like, not wait until halftime, not wait until a team establishes something, come out of the gate making the offense react to you?
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't always come down to blitzing. That's one of those things that, when you say and how you attack, it's playing with confidence in what you see and what you react. I mean, obviously there were a few things that we saw that were different. They did some quad sets and just different things you got to react to, and kind of get into the flow of the game with where that went. But I want to see our guys, yes, go out and absolutely play with confidence, attack. Being able, whether that means pressures at times, whether that means just rushing for and still just the how we fit, how we communicate, and the sense of urgency which we play, is important. I thought in the game, against Clemson, I thought we did a good job of stopping the run, there early. They got one that got out, there later, but I thought we did a good job in that. But we still had some things that, we had to clean up there in the back end, that got us. You did a good job with getting their backs out. We did see some things that we thought we could expose, and I thought there were some good adjustments that were made that allowed us to be more aggressive there in the second half. But we want to have that mindset regardless of, and that's one of the things we talked to our team about. We got to come out and start fast, and I think when you look defensively, that's that's got to apply, because we have not started games well here really in the first three. I mean, I know we had the goal line stand in the opener, that was big, but still, there's a couple plays that allowed them to get down into that area of the field. But we got to come out and we got to start games, obviously faster on that side. And if we do that, I've got a lot of confidence in what it'll look like.
We'll stay there for Ira.
because of the injuries up front, you guys have had to work some different combinations on the offensive line. And some of these guys are new to Florida State. They've been here for months, but
Yeah.
a few games. Has this first month given you a better idea of like what each guy can do and maybe how to best use their strengths?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, really, we played 3 guys up front that are newcomers, and you get, and they've shown really good. And then there's been times that we've had some areas that we have to get better. Bless Harris has done a good job there, on the left side, in place of Rob Scott, and really he's been here for a good amount of time, but he missed all of last season, and so really getting his first true extensive games, game reps. That's actually another one that you still count in. Now we have a 4-game, kind of pool of examples of what we've done, at a high level and things that we got to improve upon. It's good that we're getting, we got Maurice back in the last game. Obviously, hopefully getting Rob back into the fold, and now you add that, that talent, that experience, and really just a combination of a better understanding of what our guys can do, and trying to put them in those best situations. But yeah, it's all about building from that, and having guys that are more confident in some of the combinations and some of the just the fundamental aspects of what we do up front, how they have to work together, and just being able to react maybe just half a step quicker than what we did, because it's all good, in some games where maybe that slightest step does not get exposed. When you're playing really good people, when you play teams that attack, I mean, it's gonna show up, and that's where we go back and look at it, and we've had some opportunities. We just got to be better, and I think with last week and what we were able to do, and then obviously coming into this week, another more time and a better sense of our guys, I think that's definitely going to help.
Corey?
It sounds like you expect Virginia Tech's defense to be pretty aggressive. I wonder with you as a play caller and a guy that's trying to play the chess match, maybe they're aggressive against other teams, but you have to figure out, okay, how are they gonna defend us? Because not everybody has Johnny Wilson and Keon Coleman. How much does that go into like your game planning for a week? And what we've seen on film might be different because they haven't faced an offense quite like what they're about to see on Saturday.
Yeah, and that's always, that's the, the plan A, B, C, what are you gonna see? How does somebody, what are they looking at to think of, what's the best way to do to with their talent level or with their schemes, how they want to try to defend you, and then, what are the adjustments throughout? And so, I love that part of it, and, it's always, it's a weekly battle for me. It's, you look at them, but then what are the things that they have shown schematically? And for me, I go back years. I mean, just looking at different things to try to help best prepare our guys. And if it's not A, then we kind of move on to B, and then if it ever gets beyond that, I mean, even last week we spent a lot of time, or the last game, we spent a good amount of time preparing for something they'd shown 2 years ago, different coordinator, but just because of the potential of what we thought we might see, and showed up a little bit, but it's just, that's always a one of those the great debate of where you're working through it, but it also takes those in-game adjustments and being able to adapt to what you are getting throughout.
We got time for a couple more. We'll come back to Brendan on the left.
You mentioned Deuce returning this week. We saw Jakai on the depth chart for this week. Getting that full allotment of wide receivers, I guess, how can that help you guys in terms of matchups and rotation?
Well, Jakai, he practiced last night. I think what that workload is going to look like. I mean, but we're definitely excited about getting him. As he's getting back, Kentron is one that we've missed too. I mean, he's been out for the better part of this season so far, and having 2 guys that were pushing to be starters, and Jakai started a lot of games here. Kentron's made a lot of great plays here. We've been down a few guys now. Others have stepped up, and I think we played at a good level there. But man, I'm excited to see those guys get out on the field, and I think they're going to continue to build to our depth and to the playmaking ability that we have, and definitely excited to for what they're going to bring here as we continue on in the year.
All right, y'all good? Thanks, Coach.